Hi guys, I am filming this from my bathtub because it has the best view. Look at that, look at that. And also me, but mostly that. Today is the first day of school here in Macau. I know a lot of American schools, like actually all the schools that I went to, started in late August. But here they start right smack dab in the beginning of September, which is kind of nice. You know, it's not a weird number like 27 or 29 of August. It's the first, and there's something kind of refreshing and crisp about that. Anyway, it's the first day of school for obviously not me. It got me thinking about my first days of school and first day of schools, both. And I'm always so nostalgic when I think about going back to school, when I think about the back to school commercials, and I go into the store and there are all these back to school sales, purchasing things with other people's money, like my parents. I'm kind of torn between this sort of very distinct and musty. That's so disgusting. Never mind, I take that back. It's not musty. This sort of very just distinct and pertinent nostalgia for that time in my life. And also, I'm kind of glad that it's over. It's kind of this ongoing battle of emotions with me regarding this whole time period. Autumn, just in general, is like that for me. I'm not really sure what the point of this video is. It's not advice on how to deal with the pain of nostalgia, because nostalgia can be very painful. It's definitely not healthy, at least for me, because I get sucked in and then I sort of dwell on the past and things that I miss, even if I shouldn't miss them. I remember everything fondly. To me, that just kind of comes with remembering anything. I remember it positively. And that's not necessarily always a bad thing, but it can warp your thinking a little bit. I think it's important to remember things the way that they actually occurred. It's fine to look back on people and places and times in your life that maybe weren't always nice and maybe choose to see the positive from it. But there's a difference between choosing to see the positive and being unable to see the negative. I think being able to see where you went wrong and being able to know what shouldn't have happened and why is the only way to learn from it, if that makes sense. It is the back to school day, if that's a thing. Well, good luck to everyone still in school, and good luck to everyone that it's your first year out of school, because that is a terrifying thing. You'll do okay. You'll do okay. You probably won't do great because it's still new and you still have to get used to it, just like a new year in school. It's a new year in life. But you'll do okay. You'll do fine, kid. And if you've been out of school for years, you know what's going on. You know what's up. You know how to do things. Congratulations for that. Because you are ahead of the rest of us. And also, I think I kind of miss having other people run my life for me. You hate it at the time. I hated it at the time. I hated rules. I hated everybody else telling me what to do. I hated time constraints. I hated deadlines. But there's something to be said for never having to worry about making your own plans. And while making your own plans can be exciting and fantastic, and running your own life is sort of a nice thing to be able to do, it's also extremely taxing. It's like a full-time job maintaining your life. I think people assume that taking care of others is harder than taking care of yourself, and really taking care of yourself is the first step towards that. Making sure that you're healthy and you are happy and you can afford whatever you're paying for and you're not going hungry and you're not cold in the winter because you spent all your money on Netflix and you can't afford heat. Things like that are important. They're just as important as taking care of somebody else, because you are still a person and you still need taken care of, even if you're the one doing it. And I think there's something to be said for being still an age where it's appropriate for others to kind of step in and lend a hand. I think for some reason we decided that at 18 some sort of magic happens and you don't need that hand holding anymore. And while you may not need it as much as you did when you were 8 or 4 or even 14, people will always need other people. Even if you're an introvert, we're still from a species that thrives on relationships with others outside of ourselves. And so that's always going to be something that you're going to need to incorporate in your life. I think it's easy to fall into your own mind and your own emotions and what's going on with you, and forget what's going on around you, and forget how the rest of the world and the rest of the people outside your door still affect you. And that's kind of a really long tangent away from back to school. That's just kind of what back to school makes me think of. It's kind of a mixture of nostalgia and extreme existential crisis. Hey, and I'm sorry for the absurd, random content. I think that's kind of where I'm gonna end it.